Chad, good morning. Eskom tried to cancel us, but we are becoming very difficult to cancel at this stage. Keeks.
Chris, your audio, are we keeping it running on both sides?
Just ask Mo there to switch off Streamlabs on your audio feed.
Okay, cool.
Chad, good morning. How's everyone doing? How's the audio? How's the stream? Everything good? Please let me know if everything is good on your side. Let me know if the audio is good. Again, a little bit of a late start thanks to Eskom, but we are live and we are ready to go. Chris and Dwayno today coming on in around about 5 minutes. I'll be just watching the Zoom to check when they come in. I've already sent the analysis for the daily time frames on Discord, so be sure to check out the link in the description for the Discord. Already gave my analysis, but I'll just do a quick rapid fire analysis anyways for you guys while we wait. Julie, good morning. Jason, Neil, Alson, Dorito, Peter, Edgar, Trending Clicks, OGs are here, Heinrich Steenkamp, whoever is watching this, don't give up. I had been trading for 5 years and made no money. I then decided I've been fooled by this industry and that it is a scam. Until I saw the stream. I'm kidding, he said, until I saw Chris and Dwayno. Anyway, Heinrich, I think you should join the streams as well if you think you were fooled. Just real traders providing real value, but keen to get Chris and Dwayno on in a couple of minutes. Forex tips, Alex, always bringing some good energy. Hussein, good morning. Hope everyone is doing well. All right, guys, just quick rapid fire analysis before we get our guests on. As mentioned, DXY closing back inside of the range. As mentioned, we could go down to retest the low of this range. This I consider to be some type of fake out. I am on the daily time frame. See how we broke out, failed to hold that retest area, and now we are back in the range. I'm not saying we cannot go back up, but for me, I am bearish on the day. Could be trading back into the range. Could see NFP trading very close to the weekly pivot, and either going to find some support here or we're going to start moving lower. US 30 exactly the same this morning as I said in the Discord as well. Go check the Discord. I said confirmed support, weekly yearly pivot level. Again, this entire week we've been talking about this yearly pivot level. This level does not change, it only changes every 12 months. So for the rest of the year, this pivot level is valid. I said we've got confirmed support. Yesterday I was purely looking for buys. Very choppy market indeed. So are we going to go back inside of the range to come and retest the weekly pivot? That is the weekly pivot that we are working with this week. So I am bullish on the day. Already gave my analysis. We'll drop down to the lower time frames now as soon as I'm done with the analysis. Nasdaq just in this range. As you can see, we are technically back to where we started at the start of the week. So nothing really for me. I can say I am bullish, I can say I am bearish, but we are technically back in the middle of this range. So it is a coin flip at this stage. US 30, I'm definitely bullish. USD JPY, break of structure. Remember on Wednesday I said I was still bearish, even though we looked at some buys for the retest of this 149.29 level. This wick, are we going to fill this wick? As I said, really enough, I would still love to see that BOJ intervention candle get filled. And past resistance, future support, are we going to find support here? Are we going to break out higher today? I don't know. I am still bearish on the day. could get something like this where we retest the weekly pivot, create a top wick for yesterday's daily candle, and you most probably will see price trading very close to the weekly pivot during NFP, and price will decide where it wants to go from there. Pound yen, let's quickly look at what pound yen is doing. Guest joining us now, but let's just quickly look at pound yen as well. This morning I mentioned 182.20 going to be a key level for the day, as mentioned. Either going to reject here, or we're going to start pushing up to this 182.31 level. So just thought I would share that, guys, with you guys this morning in the Discord. So currently pushing bullish. We'll check the lower time frames very shortly. Gold, as mentioned, we are currently coiling into this tight little daily range. As you all know, small ranges are gonna fold into big ranges, so big move today. Please do not try and fade gold today for the guys that are gonna try and get into counter trend trades. Believe me when I say that, you will get killed. So honestly, please be careful. Most probably we are going to be very close to this weekly S1 level, also your daily pivot. So most probably you're going to see price trading around this weekly S1, also the daily pivot. And then quickly GBP USD daily time frame, let's quickly run it through. So already tested that level this morning. I said we've got a little bit of range left to 122, again trading very close to the weekly pivot. So this area today during NFP is going to be key. It is looking like we are tilted bullish. 122, that is the level that I'll be monitoring today for further upside continuation. Euro USD very similar to GBP USD. We've got some range back to the weekly pivot up here, so let's see what we do at that weekly pivot. We are trading NFP live today. I will be sending out the stream link as well. Also trading it live here in the office. And then German 30 on the daily, very tight little range there. Are we going to see some breakout? Looking at Hang Seng overnight, as mentioned in the Discord as well. Hang Seng closing up almost 1.8% overnight. Nikkei closing relatively flat on the evening during overnight. So as mentioned, positive flows expected into European equities this morning, and we've already seen that German 30 up 0.32. For the guys that know what we look for, you most probably caught this breakout from the daily pivot already at the S1, so well done to you if you caught that. Nice 47 points on German 30. And then just looking at US 30 on the 5-minute this morning, trading away from the pivot. Nothing there for me. Accumulation distribution is relatively flat, consolidated. USD JPY as well, quite far away from the Asia highs. Pound yen as well, retesting Asia highs, pushing away from there. Everything still pointing bullish, accumulation distribution pointing up. And then GBP USD, Neil actually sent this to me this morning, where he mentioned when the perfect setups play out pre-market open, and that is completely fine. We still don't change the way we do things. So with that being said, guys, we've got Chris and Dwayno on. I just want to see Dwayno. Is Dwayno going to switch on his camera? Let's bring Chris into the frame. Dwayno, beautiful.
Two big boys in the house.
Let's get Dwayno and Chris. Guys, how's it going?
What's up? What's up?
Dwayno, how's it going, man? Okay, Dwayno, just gonna sort out the.
Dwayne's out the
Yeah,
building.
what's up? We wanna check if the audio is good on our side. If you guys don't hear it echoing and all that kind of stuff.
No, that's perfect.
Sounds clear.
No way.
Awesome, thanks guys.
Chris, there is a bit of an echo, so I suggest we're just gonna play musical chairs with the mute mic.
Let's check if this is cool.
Can you guys hear me fine like this?
Perfect.
Awesome. There we go. Then we sorted.
Yeah. Yeah, we just we just had to rearrange our whole setup and stuff. We redid like a whole trading room, and we got so much equipment in this room actually. So we just wanted to see if everything works fine and stuff. This is the first call we've done since then. So yeah, hope you guys are well.
Guys, appreciate it. Chris, Keegan with me, my right-hand man here on the streams, and then obviously myself. And yeah, I've actually asked Chris a while back to be on, and he also mentioned that he'll come on, and we locked it in. I think it was last week. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys joining us. And yeah, there's no real structure to the stream. You guys join us on the stream. We're just going to chat a little bit about your trading journey, about where you guys come from. And I think maybe just start off with the guests. I know there's going to be some guests from your community. There's some guys from our community. But I think, Chris, if we can start with you, just maybe a little bit of an introduction on yourself, and we can start there and then go over to Dwayno.
No stress. Alright guys, so yeah, some of you know me, some of you don't, but anyway, my name is Chris, and I've been trading for the last 6 or 7 years. I actually had an uncle that got me into trading. He had a mining engineering company, sold it off, and he was a very keen investor. He used to invest in different stuff like stocks, company stocks. Like I said, he was involved in mining. And when I was in university, he literally came to me the one day and he said, "Chris, I want you to learn more about investing, and I want you to see how your money can work for you." And I was a student, I didn't have much. You know, I didn't come from a wealthy background or anything like that. Everything that I've had to do in my life, I've had to earn it. Yeah, so my uncle came to me the one day, he gave me, I think it was about 10K or something like that. And he said to me, "Chris, here's some cash, I want you to invest it." And I was like, what? You know, obviously not having a lot of money, not having access to a lot of capital. I was still a student, I was at varsity. To be able to experiment or something like that, like, really meant a lot to me. And I still remember, I always tell the story where I remember that first day that I got that capital. I didn't care whether Anglo-America stock price was good or bad or whatever the case was. I was buying up. Like, if I saw a company that I knew, I was like, cool, I want to be invested in this company. And I remember first couple of minutes, I saw some money, some profits. And I thought to myself, yo, this is the easiest money. Like, I had to do nothing, you know. And then I remember waking up, I think it was the morning or the morning after, and my portfolio was at a negative. And I got a fright, you know, and that's the first time I really kind of saw, okay, cool, you know, the same way that it can go for you, it can go against you as well, you know. I just pretty much got into trading since then. I've always been very eager to learn everything that I could get my hands on. I wanted to study. I did well in school, like, I won't lie about that. Like, I was really good at maths, really good at statistics. I knew that, you know, a lot of the stuff that I learned, like, I excelled at. So, you know, I said to myself, like, trading, I want to give a crack at it. And I know there's some way, because there's people that are making money from the markets. And if you think about it, like, in the markets, there's so many variables that you can't control. You know, like, a lot of people will say, no, obviously you're taking a wager, you're taking a bet, you're taking a gamble, whatever the case is. But, you know, you control so many variables. You control where you get into the market, how long you stay in the market, where you get out of the market. I knew there was some way that if you can apply a system day in, day out, you can have a definitive edge in the market and derive profits from it over time. You know, not every single trade, not every single month, but over time. Surely there has to be a system that works, you know, and that's always kind of been my goals, to get to a place where my results are the best that they possibly can be. I never want to stop learning. I'm very open-minded. I like connecting with people in the space, so that's why, obviously we wanted to jump on this call as well. We love meeting people in the industry, sharing knowledge, sharing ideas, Dwayno and myself are very genuine people, for us, it's just about being that beacon in the industry, because oftentimes in the industry, you get people that are unethical, and we don't want to be that. We wanted to show like you can genuinely make a living, make a profit in this industry, and it's not going to be win all the time, but you can have an edge over time and derive a profit from the market. So yeah, that's basically it from me.
And where did you guys grow up? I believe you guys are in Joburg, Cape Town.
Yeah, so we in Gauteng, both Dwayno and myself, we literally we live about a minute away from each other in different complexes, but we see each other every day. We trade together every day. Community is important. Trading with people that hold you accountable, it's awesome. So we kind of just connected since day one. We from Gauteng, like I said, we live right next to each other, but I actually grew up in Durban. I went to school in Durban, and then when I went to university, I went to the University of Pretoria, and that's pretty much how I ended up in Gauteng. I've got a fiance that practices law here in Gauteng as well, so she works at a law firm here, so we just kind of pretty much settled here.
What did you study, Christopher, if I might ask?
So I actually had two options. It's quite a funny story, but I got a bursary from Anglo America to study mining engineering, and I remember it was a big thing. Like there were a lot of applicants and stuff, and because my uncle was in mining engineering, I thought, cool, it makes sense to me. I was good in maths, I was good in science. Let me go study engineering. But I did a lot of vac work. Also, the mines were in Witbank, and I remember like going down in the shafts in the mines, and I would like take coal out of my nose when I get back from work, and out of my ears, and there was just coal everywhere. So I kind of thought to myself, this is not entirely something that I would want to do for a living. So I literally the next day on campus, I literally walked across to the commerce building, the BCom building, and I said to myself, look, I don't even know what I want to do. I want to do something general. Like when you're in university, most of the time people don't even know what they want to do yet, and that was me at the time as well. Like, all these people go study these specific things, but I've had friends that go study BCom economics and then they change, like midway through their program, because you kind of see where you have a liking to, like what type of modules and stuff you like a bit more. So I said, like, let me just go for something general. I love business. I've always been business minded. Even when I was university, my cousin and I started a whole lot of like bicycle businesses and all sorts of stuff. So I thought, I love business, I'm good at maths, let me go do commerce, and I'll just kind of find myself there. I love finance as well. I've always had an interest in the financial markets. So I did BCom law. So I got a degree in BCom law, and I'm happy I did that, because even in the legal aspect, you do a lot of commercial law. So contracts, business related law, how to set up, how companies are set up, shareholder agreements, all sorts of stuff like this. So it was very interesting for me. I'm happy I did it. And yeah, it just kind of, more and more, I just had that interest while I was studying in the financial markets. I had a lot of friends that were studying, can't remember what it was called. I think it was like BCom financial management or something like that. And they used to show me the stuff that they actually learned in university. So yeah, I just always had an interest in the financial markets, and even like I would be studying law, but at night I would be doing a course, or I'd be going on YouTube. And I think like 6-7 years ago, there wasn't really that much content to find on YouTube. You know, like today, if you go onto YouTube, there's so much content out there. I like back then to go onto YouTube to find someone that's kind of speaking about something that you want to do more research about. You had to really like go deep and look long and hard, you know. But these days, I mean, there's so much content every day. I see new content from new people. So I feel like it's very much a growing industry. Access to the markets are it's easily accessible. So I've just kind of always had that interest in the financial markets, and I just never lost it. And even when I stopped studying, I didn't want to go into law. You know, when you're done with your BCom law, you get a choice. Do you want to carry on, do your 2 years LLB, and then go do your articles and become a lawyer? And I just kind of said, like, no, like I just want to have a crack at this. I want to have a crack at trading. I want to have a crack at business. I just kind of always kept that open for myself in a way. I just worked so hard and made it work. And, you know, for the last 3-4 years, I've been trading full time.
Shot, man. Mouthful there. Dwayno, over to you, man. It's your opportunity now to give us a little bit of a backstory on yourself.
Where to start? Yeah, thanks, guys. It's good being here. Like Chris said, you know, for us, we want to make sure that people don't go through the same mistakes that we went through. I think if anyone can go through what I went through, you can make it in trading, right? I had a very bumpy road, you know, my introduction into this industry and stuff. But now I'm 27 years young now, still a spring chicken, but fortunate enough to be able to know the skill set. I'm very different to Chris. I wasn't the head boy and all the A student in school. I loved my sport, and I actually in matric got a contract to go and play in France, but we couldn't financially afford that. So obviously we also couldn't financially afford, you know, sending me to college or university. So I didn't go the route of studying. I actually ended up working a 9-to-5 directly from school. You know, the normal route. We always hear people say, no, finish school, go get a 9-to-5 job so you can pay your bills and you can settle and stuff, you know. And I actually got a very good job. I don't want to mention that. I can mention. So I went to go work for Porsche, right? So it's one of the biggest sports car brands in the world, and I did my qualification through them. I did an extra 2 years, which allowed me to become the diagnostic tech and technical advisor for the whole of South Africa when it comes to Porsches, Germany, Dubai. I was like the middleman, you know. If there's cars that you couldn't fix and the problem was too big, people would send it to my side and we would work on the case. And it's very selective cases, also considering the high-end clientele that you work with, etc., etc. And, you know, after doing that, getting my qualification and actually going up beyond that and getting extra qualifications, I realized that this is not actually what we all thought it would be, right? We think that you have this job with this well-known company, and you think it's done. You know, you don't have to do anything else. You're getting your salary, and I was like, I couldn't even afford a proper car that I wanted. Nonetheless, get a nice apartment where I can live in. I had no girlfriend, I had no kids, I had no family, and I was like, you know what? There's something wrong with this system. I think someone said something or they believed something that wasn't true, and I started, you know, looking for options because that's the person I am. I'm not someone that just sits indoors, and I don't settle for average, if we want to put it that way. And I was looking in industries. I went into network marketing, had a big success in network marketing, made a lot of money in network marketing. I then ended up, after COVID, you know, quitting my full-time job, and I started doing trading, and that's where I got introduced to trading after making a lot of money in network marketing. Now, after doing this, I did a very bad investment decision, and I actually lost 2.5 million rand in 1 month. I was literally bankrupt. I was 20, I think I was 23 years old at that time, and I just quit my full-time job. My only salary that I really had, as this little youngster thinking that he slayed the financial system. I quit my 9 to 5, lost all this money in a bad investment. I was literally down and out, and I was like, okay, well,
I actually want to mention something. Sorry to interrupt, but the first time I met Dwayne and I, like when you meet someone and you just resonate with them, you just click, and it was quite easy for Dwayne and myself to get along. But I remember the first time I chatted to him, and he was telling me about everything that he's done, almost like we're doing on this podcast. Like, hey, what's your story? What's up with you? Where are you from? What have you done? What are you good at? Dwayne told me the story, and he said to me, Chris, do you know what's the worst thing? Like, do you know what's worse than being broke? He's like having a lot of money, tasting success, and then being broke again. And I just kind of find that funny, because if you hear Dwayne's story, it's he's had a rough childhood, he's ever had a crazy story, and that's actually a big reason why he boxed and stuff just like a month ago. But when he told me that story, it's crazy, like how he went from having nothing, had a lot of money, and then made a really bad investment and lost everything. And I think, like, as traders, we can almost kind of resonate to that, like with that, because a lot of the time when traders just see success, the first thing what they want to go do is prove to the world that they've made it, that they've made money, and they want to show it to people, they want to flaunt it to people, and then very quickly, you can take a couple losses and you put yourself in a pickle, So yeah, I just wanted to kind of add that because it was quite funny when Dwayne told me that.
Quite funny now.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So yeah, I think, and then I started, doing the same thing that everyone else does when they get introduced to this industry. Not knowing a lot, you go to YouTube, you find the next course available or someone selling a course, you're not finding success. This guy, you think he has something better to offer, you do his course. I flew from Cape Town to Johannesburg 3 to 4 times with a guy that was mentoring me. Ended up, figuring out that this guy actually knows less than what I knew about trading. Paid him a lot of money for that. So I've been through it all, trend line trading, indicator trading, finance trading, crypto-based currency trading. There's not something out there that I haven't been through and exposed to and stuff. But I just kind of wanna say that if anyone is watching this right now and you may be in that same people and you don't know if this is for you or if you need to carry on with this, so what you guys already have, first and foremost, the stuff that you guys, Chris and Keegan, that you are doing on here, that is crazy, right? There's not a lot of people in this industry that would put themselves live out there and do what you guys do. I also went through a stage where I did live New York sessions for a very long time, free of charge and stuff. And I just want to let you guys know that just keep on going, right? If you're going to give up and you're going to quit on this, then you'll never know what it would have been to master the art of trading. Trading has completely changed my life for the better. It's helped me to change my family's life, and we're actually only getting started right now. The stuff that we know and that we have and stuff it's crazy, and this is a skill set that could potentially really set you free and set you apart from all the people. And yeah, cool. So yeah, we're living in Pretoria right now. Mainland.
Where did you grow up, Dwayne?
I grew up. Shit, where didn't I grow up? I was actually born in Johannesburg, Then I moved to Mpumalanga. That's where I went to high school because I was playing rugby that side, and I was in boarding school and stuff. And then I moved back to Pretoria. So I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
Nice, guys. But I think also just to add you, so it's so nice to put a face to the names now and everything. But a little like funny story, guys. I was actually doing a little bit of stalking with these guys this week when we knew we had them coming on. And it was just funny to actually know, like I've seen so many of like their videos going out on in the waterfront and all over. And it was actually so weird to see guys doing those type of things, and then to again find out that in the community, I mean, there are these solid oaks and stuff. But I think like where Chris was going earlier, something I think would be nice to know is, like you guys say, you come from two completely, if you want to say, different backgrounds, like the complete opposites. But you guys have found that right hand man, that brother in arms. So like, how was it you guys came about this dynamic duo?
So it was actually through Darren Dix, because we were mutual friends of Darren's. And I remember the one day Darren said to me, he said, "Hey bro, there's this guy I met in Pretoria, you should meet up with him. His name is Dwayne." And I was like, what is this? Like someone setting me up with a blind date or something? And so Darren was just like, no, he's a cool guy. Like, meet up with him. He's right there by you. Darren was quite close with Dwayno as well, and I was quite close with Darren. And you know, Darren will always openly say as well, like, you know, we always spent a lot of time together. And you know, he was trading a certain way like a couple of years ago, and you know, he'll always say like, you know, he was gambling, he wasn't really trading, and that's what, like, for me, like where this is going as well, like I'll continue with the story now, but with trading, it's, you know, in this industry, people are very how could I say, like almost selfish, you know, where they don't want to share knowledge. If something works for them, they don't want to give it. They want to kind of in Afrikaans you say someone's like bietjie geheimsinnig. They want to keep it to themselves. They don't want to share it, all sorts of stuff like that. But for me, I've always believed like it doesn't hurt you to help other people, you know. Like it's a market we're all trying to figure out, we're all trying to make profit from, and if we can all make money together, then it's good for everyone. It's win-win, you know. So we spent a lot of time with Darren. I spent a lot of time with Darren, and we shared a lot of knowledge, and you know, a lot of stuff that you know, you'll always hear him say, like, you know, how crazy, like how fast all of our trading evolved when we put our heads together. And then I met with Dwayne. Dwayne was also kind of trading at the time. He was trading similar to myself, and you know, it's nice because once I met him and we just kind of clicked, we would say, okay, cool, we want to test the probability of something like this happening. So let's go for the last 7 months. You do Jan, I'll do Feb, Darren does March, and we just like each do a month. It can be so much quicker, and we can help each other, we can save time, and let's get stats on this specific thing that we want to use or we want to implement. Let's check this type of strategy entry, because we're all trading the same, how do I call it, like we all use the same components, right? We all use the same elements to analyze, etc. Yes, we've learned stuff from each other, but let's test it. Like if you think this works better than this, like let the numbers tell us, you know. And I think like that's just how we clicked, is like all of us were just we weren't scared to put in the work, we weren't scared to put in the hours, and we all had each other to keep each other accountable, and then we would be like, okay, cool, this works really well, let's try implement this, you know, let's live trade it for a couple months, let's see how it works over 6 months. What type of flaws do you come across when we live trade? What type of struggles do you come across? So everything for me specifically has always been very numbers based. Like I'll make decisions based off of numbers, off of feedback, and having a team and people that you work with every single day to keep you accountable, like it makes things so much easier. And it's almost like, you know, you guys always hear it as well, you know, trading can be a lonely game. Like I think back to a time when I was trading by myself, like it gets lonely, you know, you can kind of get into your own head, you can fall into like you know, a state of, I wouldn't call it like depression, but like more like you get frustrated and you feel like you want to give up sometimes and stuff like that. But when you have a community, when you have people, like you might not be doing well, but someone might be doing well and you can learn from them, you know. So that's just kind of how it organically grew. I think we all kind of just weren't scared to put in the work, and we're all on the same path. We all have the same journey to become better. You know, like if I have a 55% win rate on average over a year, and Dwayne has a 62% win rate, I want to tap into Dwayne's knowledge and say, okay, cool, what's Dwayne doing? You know, what's Dwayne doing that I'm not doing? Where can I learn from him? And I think you always have to, in trading, just stay a student of the game. You're never bigger than the markets. You must always have that mentality that you're forever learning. You're forever trying to improve yourself. You're forever trying to get better. And that's just kind of how we clicked, and yeah, we all became brothers, you know.
Sorry, Chris. Team, I took a half a position here. I'm gonna add another half. I'm going 15 pip stops, trading above the weekly pivot, trading above this half round number. I'm just going to wait for a little bit of a deeper pullback, then I'm going to go for another position to get in a full position. I'll be monitoring this weekly pivot level, not going for much, maybe a 1 to 1, maybe a 1 to 1.5. I'll be targeting this area up here, only about 20 pips. And if we do get a pullback, I will add another half, so only going half a position. I want to get it as close as possible to the weekly pivot, and then as soon as we start, I'll let you guys know when I go break even. But yeah, we are trading above the weekly pivot. We are bullish on the day. As I mentioned, it is NFP Friday, so don't expect too much. 20 pips and we will be out, and I'll be managing my risk around about this 122 level round number. If we can't hold above it, or if we start trading below that and the weekly pivot, I will close out. But I just thought I will let you guys know I took some longs, and we will see how it goes. Sorry, Chris, I just wanted to let the guys know what I'm doing here.
Anytime, man. Looks like a good trade, actually.
But also, guys, you were saying there that you guys all have like very similar approach to the market, and you have like the same components you tick off. So I don't know if you guys are trading like RCT or SMC, support resistance, what you guys are doing. But as you said, there's a time and experience as you with the markets, like we all said, you're gonna be maybe successful a little bit when it really is kind of gambling. But then you're going to go through those downs, and I swear that's kind of where we always call it that golden nugget, that thing that clicks for you, where after that you kind of start seeing that success. For you guys, what was like that moment where maybe was it risk management, was it just doing more courses that really kind of started changing the game for you guys?
I'll speak for myself, and then obviously Dwayne can also give some input. But I think for me personally, I was, like I said, when I was starting out, I couldn't get enough of education. You know, like for example, I'm looking here at Chris's chart, and you know, like I'd be so inquisitive, like, what's your trading plan? What rules are you using? What are you doing? Like, what are these things? How is this helping you? Like, I'm a super inquisitive person. And I kind of always learned, and I always wanted to get as much education as possible, because I was like, cool, if I can trade, let's say in the beginning, we all do it, right? You kind of strategy jump because you see this guy doing something, you see this guy doing something, you want to try it out, you want to check it out. I think it was back in 2019, like end of 2019, beginning 2020, you know, the ICT, SMC stuff it became quite a bit of a hype. And as always, like I was inquisitive with it. I wanted to know more about it. I wanted to see, because obviously you saw these crazy things of people, you know, getting 1 to 100 wrestler rewards, and I was like, what the hell are these people doing? Because when I'm trading, I'm getting 1 to 2 wrestler rewards, and I always wanted to kind of stay inquisitive and stay a student of the game. You know, I never think I'm better than anyone else, so if I can learn something from it, then I'd love to have a look at it, you know. So I kind of had a look at a whole different like a variety of different things. I spent quite a lot of money on education, once again, just you know, learning. But at that time I was already profitable trading what I was. Like I said, I always want to get better. I don't believe you're ever in a position where you're comfortable in trading, you know. Like, you should have your strategy, but like I said, if you you know, if you're getting a certain hit rate, a success rate, and you say, okay, cool, I see you guys are getting better results than us. How can we learn from you? You know, how can we implement small things that's working for you that might be, you know, to our detriment? So we kind of learned a lot of concepts. We learned a lot of knowledge, and you know, there's different entry styles, techniques, this and that. Like, I didn't believe that there was. I believe that there's not a right way to trade. So, like, if you're trading and something's working for you, like, beautiful. You know, if I'm trading and something's working for me, that's awesome, because we all have different personalities as well. You know, like, some people are more aggressive, some people are more conservative, and there's no right or wrong. But if there's something that resonates with you, if there's something that really piques your interest and kind of matches your personality, then go for it. You know, like I said, there's no right or wrong. It's all about what works for you as a trader. And some people don't like having a low win rate. Some people don't mind it. You know, there's a whole lot of different things and elements to it. But I think what really helped us is we had a broad knowledge of things. We were, like, profitable, but not like to the extent that we necessarily may be today. But we weren't going backwards, you know. So we're at a point where, like, okay, cool, we profitable, slightly profitable, and our consistency can get better. How can we get that better, you know? So that's why I believe that learning never stops. And then it just went, how can I say, like, I traded and I give everything fair time. As also, like, let's say, for example, SMC, and I learned from these guys. They're currently in Dubai now, actually, and they in England. They used to be in England, and I did a very, very intense boot camp with them, and I traded that strategy, but I didn't like the inconsistency. I didn't like the low win rate, and I was like, surely there can be a better way to apply this, because I could see how some of the concepts made sense, but some of the things didn't make sense to me. Like, I could see practically when I apply it, there's flaws in it, you know. There can be misinterpretations, and I like to have something a little bit more mechanical. So I literally sat the one day in my office. I was actually staying in Linwood here in Pretoria in an apartment. I was in my office, and I said to my girlfriend, my family, everyone, I said, look, this December, I'm not going anywhere. I don't want to hear from anyone. I'll say Merry Christmas on the 25th, but I kind of just want to be in my own space. I want to find myself. Like, I feel like I have so much information. It's almost like an information overload. I want to simplify trading. I want to refine it for myself. I want to test things. And I sat at my office desk from like the 10th, 15th of December, all the way through to the beginning of January. I was literally just testing and applying concepts, and I'm like, cool, let's have a look at imbalances. Let's have a look at liquidity graphs. Let's have a look at break of structure. If you apply a break of structure like this and like this, with candle closure, candle wicks, any sort of thing that I could think of, I just wanted to test everything, you know. So I remember how good that was for me, and I always say this as well to our community, and if they're on the call, they'll know. I say to them, like, look, there's only so much you can learn from people, but there's a point in your trading career where you have to do soul searching, you know, and you have to sit with the charts. You have to spend time on the charts. You have to put the work in, and no one else can do that for you. You know, no one else can sit and back test for you. No one else can sit and forward test on live markets for you. You have to journal, you have to learn, and you have to put the time in to learn more about yourself, to see where your flaws are in application, and to work on that. That's the only way you become a better trader. And you know, it's key times like that where, you know, you're almost at the brink of, you know, giving up, or like you're not, how could I say, like finding success, or you maybe had a bad month and you're annoyed and you're like, is this really for me? You know, but when I look back, and every time where I said, I'm not going to give up, I'm going to go harder, I'm going to put myself under more pressure, I'm going to put more time into this, like, I came out a better person, a better trader. Because trading, you have to teach yourself a lot of discipline, and you have to learn about yourself. You know, I'm sure all of us will agree that with trading, you learn so much about yourself that you never knew, like in normal circumstances, you know. So I think it's a lot of the time about putting that time in. And if I think about back to key moments like that, like that's really what helped me a lot in my trading career. Shortly after that, I got FTMO funded, and I think I had, back then, you could only get funded with 100K at a time, and then merge accounts after. Like FTMO didn't have a 200K USD option. And I remember doing my first 100K challenge. It was later in 2020, I think like August. I got funded with 100K, and then I got funded with another 100K account, and I traded those accounts for a couple of months, after which I lost them. I remember one of the accounts I lost because you can't trade 2 minutes before or after like a key news event. And I remember I had limit orders set, and those limits triggered like when NFP would happen or something like that. And I just get an email, you violated one of your things and you've lost your account. So at that time, I also accumulated like quite a bit of personal funds as well. And I thought to myself, like, theoretically, when you're trading funded accounts of $100,000, you're only actually allowed to use 10% of that as risk. So you're technically only trading $10,000, you know? So at the time I was like, I'm better off trading my own funds than I am the funded account for now. And, you know, it just kind of went string from there.
So you're currently trading your own capital, Chris? Or are you with the funded company?
Yeah, I'm trading my own capital.
Dwayno, you as well, eh?
Funding company.
Yeah, same.
But Dwayne, ek weet nie, wil jy add op?
Yeah, I think my defining moment in trading was kind of when I don't know how to put this so it doesn't sound weird. It's when I stopped following all the gurus online and tried just sitting down and just giving the chart some of my own personal emotion, right? Because I also went, and that's what Chris said, you know, everyone thinks that your strategy is better than my strategy, or my strategy is better than your strategy. But you can make money in trading, doesn't matter what strategy you use. Profit is defined by your psychology and by your risk management. So I kind of just cut out all these emotions that there's something better out there that I don't know about, and kind of focused on growing myself as a person, my emotions, and getting that shit intact first before, you know, dabbling in stuff. And yes, I then started trading SMC, and that's when myself and Chris, I think I started trading. I got introduced to ICT, and I did all his stuff about maybe 6 months before I met Chris. And that's when I started looking at these different ways of trading it. But that was the last time I ever looked at anything.
Yeah.
I don't follow 90% of that stuff anymore till this day. Myself and Chris had so much in common in the way we saw the market and the way we traded. I took so much from what Chris did that I never did. And I think it's vice versa. But I think what I also realized is, and I always say this to people, is you would rather want to know a lot about a little than knowing a little about a lot. And what I mean by that is I just got stuck on indices. My pair that I trade till this day is NAS, and I probably know exactly where that thing moves even when I'm sleeping, and I literally understand that pair inside and out. And that's because I was so fixated on mastering exactly that. I wasn't worried about currencies. I till this day, sometimes I'll when I'm setting my Chris, I'm like, go check Euro USD. There's a good setup, and Chris would be like, yeah, you're right, there's a good setup, and we'll take the trade. But I never trade currencies. I couldn't care what currencies, what they're doing. But when Chris tells me get into GBP JPY, I know exactly where to put my stops. I know exactly where to put my take profits, just based on him telling me do that buy position. That's how good we already know and understand each other and the way we trade. And the same when it comes to myself trading NASDAQ. I just wanted to master one thing. I couldn't care about currencies. I couldn't care about gold. Those things just confused me. Currencies still confuse me till this day. And that's okay, right? That's fine.
I think with currencies, you need a lot more patience because
100%.
they aren't as erratic and as volatile. Like sometimes you need a little bit more patience. And the way that Dwayne trades, like I can hold a trade for a couple hours, sometimes even a day or two. You know, Dwayne wants to be in and out of a trade within a couple minutes, you know, like 15 minutes, half an hour. And that's just his personality. That's cool because that's the nice thing about the market is there's so many different pairs, there's so many different ways to trade. Like I said, it's an open market. You know, the only thing you can't control is the market, but everything else around that, like you control everything you do. You can find yourself in the market, you can find what works for you, what matches your personality. And like if you're making money, like there's, like Dwayne said earlier, there's no right or wrong. If you're killing it, you're killing it, and you're just going to keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
But don't ever think you're bigger than the markets. Like always remain a student, always try to better yourselves. It's important, you know.
Yeah, it comes down to what, like Chris said, what do you like? Are you someone that if you're gonna have a swing trade open and you know that, listen, this trade is gonna run for a month, you can't be on MetaTrader every 2 minutes. Like you're gonna kill yourself, you know. You can't be on MetaTrader every hour. Like if you have a swing position, you're gonna have to delete the app and log back into your MetaTrader in a month from now, you know. Or are you someone that likes quick adrenaline? Like me, I'm an adrenaline junkie. That's why I trade New York Open. Like I can handle that stuff, and I think every person watching this, if you wondering how you find your defining moment, is you have to follow what suits you, like what you like. It's almost like buying clothes or dressing yourself in the morning. If you don't like wearing pink, or if you don't like wearing orange or yellow, you're not gonna wear it. You know, you're gonna wear black and white, like what I always wear, only black and white. And that's exactly what trading is. Find what you like and get good at that and cut out the noise, because a lot of it's fake actually.
Dwayno, talking on ICT, how was that? I actually mentioned to the guys, I think it was 2015, 2016, before ICT was really mainstream. I went through a lot of his stuff, and even at that stage when I went through it, I was like, the guy talks a lot, he's showing all of this, but there's never that moment where he says, listen here, this is actually how you use it. Like he's just bombarding you with information, and up until one point I was like, shit, there's so much information. Now I'm looking for a kill zone, I'm looking for this Judas swing, I'm like, where? And now you're trying to put everything together, because everything is like in these isolated boxes. But at no stage does ICT ever say, okay guys, so the process is you first do A, B, C, D, and E.
And it's so lengthened. Yes, it's great.
It's very long, it's boring, it's tedious. I think I never was a student of ICT, so I only ever did the free YouTube stuff that he uploaded. Yeah. So I also can't say if his community and students and people knew the to the point stuff, but the stuff that we watched on YouTube, I think.
But I actually had friends that did his paid stuff.
Yeah.
And they said it's the same kind of thing, you know, like he makes these long videos, 45 minutes an hour, and he goes so much. Like you'll hear him in a video, he'll speak, and then he'll talk about politics for 30 minutes. And then you kind of have to say to yourself, what's this video about again? And you know, like it's so dragged out, it's so elaborated, and like you said, like there's the Judas swing, and there's a kill zone, and there's a this and a that. And I'm not saying that these things don't work. I think it's just, like, for me personally, I believe that trading has to be simple. You know, the simpler trading is for you, the more effective it's going to be. Because so many people sit and they, like you said, they have to now apply the Judas swing and the this and the that. And sometimes you can look at the chart and this thing is contradicting this thing. And now you don't know what you need to do, you know. Do you now buy or do you sell because of this and because of that? I think it just kind of complicates things so much to a point where you kind of have analysis paralysis, where you don't know what you're doing, you know. I think some people that I know, that did his paid stuff, they have found success with it, but it's not necessarily that they get more context. It's now that they say, okay, cool, there's so much stuff out here, I'm going to focus on just trading kill zones, and I'm going to simplify the strategy to, if this happens in the kill zone and X, Y, and Z happens, then I'm going to take a trade. And that for me makes sense, because now you're taking a concept that's working for you, you're putting a system around it, and you're applying it. You know, that for me makes sense. But it's impossible to have the whole parade together, have every single box tick that he like speaks about. Like, I think you will make yourself go crazy, you know?
Yeah. I think he laid a good foundation to understand the market. That's what I think out of all the traders out there, he explains like the
manipulation.
Yeah, all those the funny theory things about the market for you to start getting your own understanding of, okay, this is how it moves, this is the terminology, but you have to take all of that information and again apply it and make it your own thing and bring it to your personality and how you're going to trade, etc., etc.
Weirdly enough, the ICT thing, I think it was 2 years ago. So I wanted to do a YouTube video to show guys that everything's technically the same. And I told myself I'll never put a video out on something or critique somebody if I have not gone through all of their stuff and I don't personally understand it, because a lot of guys were jumping on that train of like posting stuff about ICT for clickbait and ICT is shit and ICT is that, and I thought, okay, let me have a very open mind and take a very objective stance. And I've told the guys as well, some of the concepts of ICT I use till this day, and I went through all of it, and I put the replay speed. If you want to watch ICT, put your replay speed on 2.5, otherwise you will be traumatized. You will not want to go back into trading after 3-4 videos. But then I realized, and everything that I tell the guys, if you think about ICT talking about an algo, and if you think about coding is purely binary. It's X's and Y's and it's numbers. So any code that is written in terms of price, volume, everything is numbers based. And if you take everything back to its roots, we are literally just trading horizontal levels. And like Jay Froneman, we've had on as well, he trades supply and demand, and we in our group, I don't know if you guys have seen, but we literally just trade simple levels. There's like 3 levels we watch a day. We trade off those levels. And a lot of times, myself and Jay actually talked about it, where they would wait for a break of structure, wait for a supply to form, all of these little boxes to tick. We literally just wait for a level to hold, and we trade from that level, and we're taking the same trade. It's literally just a different concept to see exactly the same thing. And as you guys have mentioned, there's not a right or a wrong way. Like I've mentioned it, if you trade with a clean chart and you don't have anything on your chart and you're making money, great. If you want to do some of ICT's methods to go through all of the A, B's and C's and whatever boxes he's got, all the profiles, great. If you want to use supply and demand, there's not a right or a wrong way. And I think it comes back to the ego thing of trading, where a lot of times, and I've told it to the guys in the stream as well, what has kept me back for a lot of years, because same as Chris, I also did well at school. I studied 4 degrees, and I thought, like, look, I am this IQ boffin. I've got a high IQ. I've done well at university. I've got an engineering degree. I've got an MBA. Like, how is the market humbling me so badly? But it is all due to ego, because those 4 degrees mean shit when it comes to the market. Your position, if you're a CEO of a company, means nothing to the market. And then you get guys that don't even have a matric. They're killing the market, but they don't have the ego. I came into the markets with an ego, thinking that because I'm this or that, or I've had past success in business, at university, at school, and I had to humble myself to say, like, Chris, you are actually a fucking idiot, to be very honest. Like, put your little accolades aside and go back and see what it is that you're doing wrong. And also, I think it was Chris or Dwayno that mentioned, like, the depression, going through stages where I also, weirdly enough, I've got a similar story to Dwayno, where I quit my full-time job. I wanted to start a legitimate prop firm business where I give my own capital for guys to trade. And at that stage, I thought I was too big to fail, also tasting the money. Lost everything, having consultancy agreements with traders that I thought was trading well, and nonetheless, say less than a year down the line, I'm sitting in debt at that stage, at multiple properties, at a high net worth. And now it's like, you think you're a clever guy, how the fuck did you get to not having any money, in debt? And that depression as well, I talked to the guys about it as well. Like, don't give up. Like, a lot of guys think I had it easy when I started trading. Everything went well. Like, all of us go through stuff. All of us have had issues. But ultimately it is that ego thing. If you are humble enough, like Chris also mentioned, like he's still a student, I'm still a student. I'm also that guy. If I see Chris is doing something that I don't know about, I'm going to be like, Chris, I see you doing this. Like, what is the thought process behind it? Because coming from engineering myself, your mind as an engineer works to try and reverse engineer everything. Like before, when you see a problem, then you start reverse engineering it. Like, how can I make this work? And I think that's where a lot of guys can't think critically in their trading, because they're doing the same thing over and over. But if you had the mindset of, I'm journaling for the next 3, 4, 5 months, and then I'm critically going to see, like, what are the correlations between what I've been doing? Because obviously the correlation is that I'm losing. So that's the first thing. I'm losing money. Now the next thing is, okay, what are the steps that I can take to improve my trading, or to even get to the stage of profitability? So just for the guys out there, I just thought I'd mention that.
No, 100%. And it's so weird how even when you mentioned, you know, like a lot of the stuff in the industry as well, like it's a lot of hype, where, you know, everyone would be talking about ICT or SMC or this or that, like, and it's a current hype. But when you actually go look at it, like a lot of the times, like I said, like I did that. Like for me to implement something, I need to test it. I need to get results on it. And then you look at what a supply and a demand is, and you go look at it, what is it actually, and you can see, like, it's once again just levels being tested, you know, and it's a different way of interpreting that. That's one of the things that I did see as well, was
sorry guys,
how a lot of the things
sorry guys, I'm exiting my position here relatively, basically at break even. DXY failing to continue lower here. I'm not going to hold this. So Asia lows currently holding this level. So as well, I wanted pound USD to actually get a buzz. We need that structure to break. So currently lingering here. So no further positions for me. This thing can still work. It is quite a big level on the weekly pivot. That is a big level. That's also the round number. But as I've mentioned before, you'll most likely see this thing can push up, but during NFP we'll most likely be very close to this weekly pivot level again. But yeah, I'm out of the position. Feel free to manage it as you like, 0.1%. I'm not gonna hold this. Sorry Chris.
No stress. I actually wanted to hear more about you guys as well, about where you guys are based. I know you guys are in the Eastern Cape, isn't?
Yeah, we Port Elizabeth. I think Keeks.
Yeah.
I think Keeks can start. Keeks has also got an interesting story.
So guys, for me, I basically moved around like quite often as like a child. My parents were up and down. So originally born in Joburg, and then came to PE. I obviously was very, very sporty. My whole family has been sporty, so my whole thing in life was always athletics, rugby. Then obviously I had a few options. I went up to Cape Town. I was playing rugby there after school. Had some bad injuries which kind of settled or calmed everything down, so moved back to continue playing. And after that, then COVID happened. So with COVID, I was in school with Jay Frodeman, guys, that you was on a while ago. So he came back and he introduced me to the whole trading thing. And we started getting into this, and same thing, like started off very, very simple, guys. We were literally trading formations and literally trend lines, and every now and again you get lucky. The next week you get in a hard in. So I was like flipping small accounts, and the one time, like I think I grew like $100 to, it was something like $1,500, $2,000, and in the same time I went and I blew that whole account in like one day. And I was just like, no, this can't be real. Like the money can't be gone. Like this is a scam. And I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. And I just like carried on working. obviously partying my life up. I'm still young. I'm 24, so I'm just enjoying life, doing my thing. And then it was just after COVID, like then I started bumping into more and more people that are these full-time traders, and I was like, okay, like this thing looks like you actually really can make a living out of it. So I started getting more into it and more into it. And the one guy I came across, he said to me the whole thing. I was like, bro, you need to treat this like a business. This isn't some get rich thing overnight. And he was the one that told me this. And just like if you go to a doctor's studied to do what he does if he wants to be successful. And he said the same thing. You want to do this, spend the money, get a mentor, do a proper course, do that and go that route. Stop with the YouTube videos and like actually put the time in. And literally did that. And it was a space of, I think, over 2 weeks. I passed my first funding challenges, did all of that. And everyone, like my mates, were like, yes, bro, you're passing challenges in literally one trade. Like, what the hell's going on here? And I was like, no, man, this stuff's easy. I'm locked and loaded. Get the accounts live and just straight L's, like blow the accounts and that's it. So I was like, okay, no, like need to be humbled a bit, yeah. So we would go back and try again, figure out, had to go back test. As I said, people, there was that period where, like Chris also said in that December, I always call it my dark mode. I had to put my head down, put it in the charts. I needed to figure out where I went wrong. Because that's for me where I fell in love with the charts is I'm not in the say like inquisitive about everything in life. But when something truly intrigues me, I want answers. I want to know, why did it go up? Why did it go down? Why, if I took this position, I believed it was going to do this, what went wrong? Where was the point in the trade it went wrong? And that's where I always put my head into it. So for me, I was like, no, I need to figure this out, and started redefining things. And I think, again, as you guys said, like with personalities, I'm typical, guys. Also, not the smart guy at school, was sporty, was all that. So when you start throwing all these hectic numbers and concepts at me, it goes right over my head. So was simple. It was support resistance. It was one of those things like a mate of mine also told me was, if you look at the chart, you should basically already see what you want to do. Then your strategy should basically just give you the confirmations, your entry points, and validate what you're looking at. And like I said, it was very, very simple for me. So I always preach to guys, you don't want to overcomplicate the market. You don't want to have this overflowing knowledge going back and forth of different strategies. So I trade very, very simple key levels, zones to zones, and just get my confirmations on entry points. So then it was a case of got my first like big funded account, and in the space of like my first payout, I made probably like my 2 years salary. And I was like, that's it, like I'm quitting, I'm going full time. And I mean, for me, the rest is history after that. Then I came along, I bumped into Chris, and it's just been going back and forth. And I think after that, that's where we started seeing this whole thing of the community and this trading thing. I think like we always talk about the trading gurus. You look at these guys, and again, that's where you start questioning yourself, the next step, like what's next? And I think, when this opportunity came along where we were saying, not only let's start something we can give back to the community, but let's start something that holds us accountable, that helps us level up as traders. So my story is a bit of a short and sweet one, as it's not been years and years. I've probably only been in the markets for, I think, like 4.5 years now. But 2 years of actually putting the time in, but it's definitely been a bit of a ride.
My story. So I also played rugby. I played some Currie Cup rugby in age group, and obviously at school level, and didn't really want to.
What did you play?
I played lock. Where did I play?
What did you play?
I played lock, and also played some varsity cup rugby, and so rugby paid, like, I don't come from a wealthy family as well. Like my parents struggled when they came up. Rugby basically paid from high school for my school fees, boarding fees, up until university as well. So I played rugby. It gave me opportunities. I I got approved to go and study in Stellenbosch chemical engineering. My mom was quite open with me. She said, son, like, we don't have the money to pay for it. You're not on a full bursary there. And I said, it's fine. I'll study at the local university. I had to change the degree I wanted to study. And nonetheless, studied hard, played rugby. Like I told the guys on stream as well, I was also young and ruthless and reckless in my younger days. So we enjoyed that, went through varsity, went straight into working, and my mindset always was, how do I make myself irreplaceable and make myself useful in a business? And weirdly enough, when it was post 2008 global financial crisis, there's no work for structural and civil engineers. I had a list of 52 companies that I was phoning for almost like 4 hours, and I'll never forget it. I was sitting at my dad's office that sadly passed away during COVID 2019, and I told him, Dad, I don't know, like, I studied, everyone said civil engineering and structural engineering is the way to go. And he said, son, there's 2 more numbers, go home, take a rest, we'll figure it out. I'll give these 2 guys a call. And the last number on that list, I'll never forget it, is Sias Koen, the director of the company I worked for. It was the one and only company I've ever worked for. My dad phones him, he's like, my son just graduated, he's trying to find work. And he's like, dude, we just came out of the biggest global financial crises. We don't have work, but I'll tell you what, I'll pay for his petrol, he can work here, just so he can get some experience, but we can't actually afford him. And he said, when can I start? I phoned a Wednesday, Monday morning, I started there. I think my salary was 3,000 Rand. My petrol to work was 2.5 grand. And you better believe I was putting in the most hours. I just wanted that opportunity. And that's where I tell guys, I was willing to work for free. I actually told him, like, dude, everyone's asking for experience. How the fuck do you get experience if you can't even get work? Like,
I never understood that.
Yeah, it's like experience. I'm like, bro, I can't get experience. Like, I graduated, I need a job. And that's why I told my mom and them, like, listen, I'm going to stay here with you guys. And I just need to get like some experience so that when you apply for a job, it's like, okay, you've at least worked. So nonetheless, long story short, continued studying and into my engineering career. It was also almost like trading, but I got to a stage where it becomes monotonous. The thing with engineering is your design concepts never really changed. Like, the base fundamentals of structural design remain the same. And I told my wife, like, I can't see myself doing this for the next 20-30 years. And another friend of mine that's a mechanical engineer, he's weirdly, I think, almost been trading for 12 years. And the one day we were at a braai and he's like asking me about trading, and he's like, Forex. And I'm like, Forex? Like, yeah, the stuff you get at the airport. And he's like, no, I'm talking about trading Forex. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, no, we've got a little WhatsApp group. This was 2014, 2015. And I was like, I'm like, okay.
That's when I matriculated. And Dwayno, actually.
And I'm like, okay, sweet, let's see what it is. And he sends me, this was before Baby Pips is what it's now. Like, it was a completely different thing. And I go back to it and I go through it and I see John again. And I'm like, John, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. You're talking about candles. What is candles? Like, and he's like, no, he's trying to. I'm like, dude, don't even try and explain to me. And that month, I think he made 45k. My salary at that stage was maybe like 35k. And I'm like, dude, how the fuck are you making 45k from trading? And I told him, like, listen here, I want you to come to my house like this week. I was on him. And I said, you're going to show me this trading thing. And from there, same as Chris as well, you can ask my wife, over holidays, I had trading books next to my bed. In the evenings, if I lay in bed, put on the bed light, and she's like, what are you doing? Like after work from 8, before we had kids, from 8 till about 12, I'm watching videos, I'm following guys on Twitter, and I'm trying to pick up. And weirdly enough for me, I didn't have, at the one stage, I think it's a blessing and a curse. So for me, trading clicked very quickly. I made a lot of money very quickly, and I then quit my job. And then I went through that stage of where you now think you need all of this information, and you get to a stage where you can't take a trade. You literally have so much information. You're looking at the chart. While you're looking at it, in your mind you're already doing iterations of, but okay, but this correlation is breaking down this. And at the end of the day, you don't take any trades. And I went through a trading slump as well. Also basically lost my entire net worth with trying a business venture in the trading space. Back before there was IG gurus, like I was trading, my personal funded account was about $250,000. So I wouldn't say I was one of the big traders back then, but before
that's a big account.
Yeah, before IG blew up, like I was trading big money. Like I've told the guys in the office, I've traded 100 lots, 150 lots on real accounts. So it's not like I'm this guy trying to sell you this dream trading on a demo account. Like I've been there, I've done that. So what I'm talking about is experience. I've been in the industry long enough to call bullshit when I see bullshit. And I've been long enough in the industry to trade live with guys and know what I'm talking about. But I went into a little bit of I wouldn't say a dark mode necessarily. My dad sadly passed away in 2019 when COVID hit. I had to help my mom with the businesses, the 2 family businesses they own, and for about 2 years. And then the thing with Vault Markets came abroad, and I said, look, I started off with a podcast with Vault Markets, and I told them, let's do something for the community. No other broker is really pushing something for the community. Like everything is gate kept. Like if they're pushing the one, let's call it influencer, the guys still have to pay for something. So I told them, let's do something. I'm willing to stream live. I'm willing to do all of this on my own time. Let's do something for the community. And weirdly enough, we were looking for office space here. It started with Caitlin, Keegan's better off. And when I did the interview with her, she's like, for what is it? I'm like, no, it's an online trading firm. And she's like, oh yeah, my boyfriend is funded and this and that, and he's also into trading. And I'm like, sweet, but let's get your boyfriend here as well. And I met Keegan, and Keegan's like, no, I went full time as well. And I'm like, dude, there's open office space here. Like, join Hein, him and Hein. So Keegan, weirdly enough, was the guy who was like, yeah, no shot, not really interested. Hein was like, no, I'm gonna bring my setup here. And at the end of the day, the role switched. Like Hein is at home, and Keegan was like locking it in here in the office. And the streams were, and the streams we started, weirdly enough, we started with 2 viewers, and those 2 viewers were myself and Mo, our creative director, because we both had the stream open to see what the quality was like. So we technically started with 0 viewers, and still putting the same energy. Then went over to, I think there were 3 viewers, so it was technically still me and Mo and one guy. I don't know, maybe we can go back on the streams and find that one guy that sat through the streams. But anyway, and slowly but surely it's been progressing and growing with the ultimate goal, honestly, of just providing value. Like I told the guys, I'll never gatekeep anything. I know trading is hard enough. I know like the psychological strain where guys make bad decisions, they throw money into it, they put themselves in a financial spot due to trading. So I know what it is to go through the depression phase, to literally have depression, suicidal thoughts. So I'm like, let's try and be that beacon of light. We can't necessarily monetize it. The only way we can really monetize it, we've got an IB link in the description. But other than that, we are full-time traders. We are trying to provide as much value to the community. And I love the financial markets. I've been working in this space for almost 8-9 years. So
That's awesome what you guys are doing, man.
No, I appreciate it. But I think also moving on a little, let's just say a light-hearted note, as I think all guys and traders, and I think all the guests we've had on, we've actually asked it. So I know the answer to this, and I'm pretty sure I know where I'm going with it. But when we all start trading, there's that point you can't even lie. As men, there's a big point we start trading for the toys. There's all the things we can buy. And I've seen on Instagram the 2 babies these guys have, but we just need to, maybe you guys can let the viewers know. But also the big question of the day. So which one wins in a race?
No. So it's actually funny. I don't like to splash and flash too much. Like you'll see on my feed, it's relatively chill. I can't say the same for Dwayne. But no, but so I actually wanted to go get a different car last year or 2 years ago, and that's when I was obviously was close with Dwayne at the time as well, and I actually went to the dealership to go buy a like a bucky, because in my life I like things being easy, you know. So if I get into a bucky, I don't want to struggle, I don't want to slow down on like going on over bumps and all sorts of stuff like that. And Dwayne, working at Porsche, he was like, Chris, come check this A45, bro, it's really clean. And then Dwayne was like, let's take it for a test drive, let's do this and that. And then I got into the car and I enjoyed it. And Dwayne basically decided to buy the car through me, you know. So he's like, done, A45, let's get it. And I was like it's fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's a lacquer car to just, you know, give it gas every now and again. And then like Dwayne for a long time said he's gonna buy a RS3, but he wants to get like top spec everything. And I think it was in last year, Dwayne said early next year I'm gonna buy RS3, and then he made it happen. But in terms of the question of who wins, I think definitely Dwayne's car. I remember the first day we went to go pick the RS3 up, and Dwayne actually had surgery on his feet. So he picked his car up, he couldn't even drive it. And I got into that car, and I remember driving around the block, and the transmission is smoother. It just kicks a lot more as well, you know. But funny enough, right after that, Dwayne with his 2 operated feet drove that car home, and he was moving it on the highway. Yeah.
Dwayno,
You've enjoyed that, right?
No, it's a lovely car.
Yeah.
and the boxing thing, was that just like a charity thing? Like when I saw the guy you were boxing against, it almost looked like he's like 2 weight classes above you. And
yeah,
then,
bro, but I just saw the video. Dwayne put him to sleep there.
And then and then Dwayno pipes him with the straight, I don't know if it was a jab or like an uppercut. And I just checked Dwayno piping a straight one through there, and I'm like, yeah, I was worried about Dwayno for a minute there, but see, I should have been worried for the other guy.
Yeah. Tell them the story why you boxed, right?
Yeah, so the thing was, I've always been into boxing. Like growing up, my grandfather's nephew is actually Harry Kutsia, which was the heavyweight champion of South Africa. So we have the boxing blood in the family and stuff. And firstly, my mom was murdered when I was still a young boy by my stepdad. And my grandfather, that was her dad, was also a boxer when he was like my age or a bit younger than I was. But he sadly passed away before I was old enough for him to really, teach me boxing. We always used to play around and I always used to box him in his stomach, but I was this young lighty. And the thing with sport is, and the thing with boxing is, my rugby career ended with injuries. So I broke my plantar plate in my foot and tore my ligaments, and I never went back to rugby again. I always know that I love sport. I love being active, and if you want to go into boxing, you can't really just go and box. It's not just something that I decide tomorrow I want to go and box. There's a lot of legalities. You need to be part of a club. You need to be certified to box with the club, and then you're gonna have to go and do like an amateur boxing career. And I never really was in the mindset to do that. I just always knew I wanted to box, and we have work and this, your life gets busy. And I one day went on TikTok because we wanted to start pushing TikTok and starting to build that as well and just explore it. And I saw this kickboxing event happening, and I literally reached out to the guys setting the thing up, and I was like, listen, I just came out of surgeries, I'm fat, I'm unfit, but I know I want to box in this event because that's what I've always wanted to do. And they put me on the roster. I had 8 weeks. I literally went from 111 kilos to 103 kilos, dropped a lot, got fit, got myself a proper boxing coach, and I was like, you know what?
You were serious about it.
Yeah, I wanted to. That's how I do things in life, and I want to be serious. You can't do something half-assed. If you want to do it, just do it properly, And after that event, leading up to the event, doing the boxing event, having that surreal moment and the adrenaline, it's something that now I'm looking for my next fight, which would probably be November, December this year. And next year, March, I know it's a confirmed date for another fight. So now I'm going to do it to just go and mood people and get moved. And it keeps your sanity intact when you're training, and it keeps you accountable and keeps you fit. And funny enough, it gives you confidence, low key, knowing that you
can maxim somebody.
You can at least defend yourself,
But Dwayne's weakness is he has a glass jaw.
Okay.
So,
Please just hit them before he gets it.
Guys,
but I remember even when we were at that event, half the people at that event were actually traders, like people in our community, people that follow us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We went crazy because that was the first time I watched a boxing match live as well. And we went crazy. But then after that, because Dwayne always said, he's like, Chris, I wanna box. And I'm like, what the hell's Dwayne on about this boxing thing the whole time, Like, let's just, we've got so many things that's going on, and that we do. So let's just focus on that. I don't know why Dwayne wants to box, And then he says, no, I want all in, like the stuff we do also, like I want it to be a boxing element. I want to give away to boxers that don't have equipment. And we want to like fund boxers to help them, because there's so many good boxers that don't have money to buy gloves or whatever, So then I said to Dwayne, okay, cool, let's check how things go. And then obviously I had his match, and right after the match we're like, cool guys, let's get involved in boxing. Like let's do this. It was such a cool experience. And even his coach, I remember we were sitting outside the one day, and his coach was like, okay, Chris, so next week you start training with us as well. And I was like, me? Box? And he's like, yeah, just come join us. So I was like, okay, cool. So now it's like, it's myself and Dwayne. We're boxing together. We do these sessions together. But the one thing that I saw like in these sessions is, like, a lot of people said, he moved that guy, or maybe that guy wasn't a good boxer. but you must see Dwayne jab in training. Like the coach even drops the glove halfway through, and he's like, "Bro, just like go softer," you know. Like Dwayne's got a more of a jab.
Listen, on a more controversial note, if there was a trader that you would like to box,
There we go again.
Let's reveal that. Yeah, I think what I'm thinking is Keeks. So Keeks is not necessarily a boxer, but he was in MMA as well. But Keeks, and I was never a boxer, but I was also quite ruthless in my younger days. Not necessarily in the boxing ring, but in the bar. But anyway, back to that. I think Kings, we should set up some grudge matches here. So Dwayno, who's a trader or somebody in the industry that you would like to box?
Yeah, to be honest.
And don't try and be don't try.
Mr. Nice guy.
No,
I would
listen.
like to box a guy that made me fly to Cape Town all those years back to teach me indicator training. But he's a very small guy, so I think I'll demolish him and go to jail or something.
No, but funny enough, before the fight happened, Dwayne and Darren the whole time. So Darren would fly to Pretoria, and he would say to Dwayne, "You know what, Dwayne? I'll actually break your jaw, your glass jaw." And then, so Darren and Dwayne the whole time they say they want to box each other, they want to box together. But it never happens. I think that will be an unfair match because Darren weighs a lot less than.
I would like to see Darren and Chris.
But the weight is up, bro.
That's fine. You must drop weight.
Chris said Darren. I would like to see that. Keeks, anyone you wanna box?
Yo, not at the moment. I can not off the top of my head that's coming to mind right now.
Yeah,
I think at this stage there's not really like in South Africa like a lot of traders like they're like a pet peeve.
Yeah.
I must say like I'm very like laid back with a lot of the guys in the community and just chilled out. But I think there are some
like someone that you think would be a good match for you.
Okay. Chris, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it.
No. Let's fuck.
No, so obviously for people that don't know, there's been some drama going on.
That's all cool, guys.
But there was a little masked trader that we had some fun with, and me and him are literally the same age. So I think that would be a pretty fun one.
Oh, let's not go there, guys. We've been cancelled so many times this week. The amount of money we had to pay to get hackers to get our accounts back, like at this stage I'm just deleting Instagram. I'm gonna delete it after today. For me, I would say the problem is there's not big traders like me, not big in terms of capital but in terms of weight. So I'm 135 kgs, so I don't think I can box.
Tall, eh?
Yeah, I'm about 198, so unfortunately, I won't be able to box anyone. Chris, how big are you? Maybe me and you can box.
Yeah, I'm 113, 112 at the moment.
I'll drop down to 120. We're gonna make that happen. Me and Chris is gonna box, and Keegan said, "Are you gonna take on Chris?"
If Chris go to 120,
Chris versus Chris.
if you go to 120 and Chris just stays at 115, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's heavyweight. Anything above 100 and actually anything above 99, as long as you're within 5 kilos is
no, but I really have a glass jaw. I actually had a fractured. I had a fractured mandible in a rugby game, so I've got a plate and 4 screws, so my jaw is a little bit soft. I think
I don't think you should box it.
No. But guys, if there's any, I think we're just going to open up the floor maybe for the chat before we let the guys go. I really appreciate Dwayno, Chris joining us, taking out their time. I will also be sharing the link to their YouTube channel, All In, if I'm not mistaken. It's called All In the channel, to check that out as well. One thing you guys need to realize and appreciate, for instance, a video like that where they're giving away is not just costing them money to do the giveaway, but in terms of time and effort, putting any type of content out, people don't realize, even like these little reels we're putting out, there's a lot of thought that goes behind it, a lot of editing, tweaking, so go and give that a support, follow that. But with that, let's open up the floor for some questions in the chat, and if you've got any questions, we're going to give that through to Chris and Dwayno. I know the one gentleman asked, who was the guy that you did a course with? Where do I see that? Somebody mentioned.
Yeah, it's so it was a company called WWA. So it's actually this guy called Waka. I know they're in Dubai now, but they used to be in the UK. So it was from those guys. And I like I said, I learned a lot. Back then, like, it was also difficult to get a lot of information on SMC type trading, but like I remember watching them, like they would advertise that they're catching 1:30, 1:40 risk to reward. They're cool guys, and like I can understand and I can see exactly how they do that. But for me, like, that type of strategy, I found a very low win rate with it, because you're also on lower time frames a lot. And that sort of stuff. Like, I just didn't gel with that type of trading. I like to see a higher win rate. So like, I want my win rate to be, like around 60-65%, get a 1:2, 1:2.5, 1:3 risk to reward ratio. That's taking into account taking partials and everything, so that's the type of trades that I like to take. That was my sweet spot. I would rather, I couldn't stand, taking 5, 6, 7 losses in a row, but knowing that, okay, cool, you can catch a trade and it can go 1:15, 1:20. Like, I just didn't gel with it. I preferred having a higher strike rate, and profitability is exactly that. It's just finding your sweet spot with your win rate and your risk to reward. Those are the two things that determines how profitable you are.
Do I know?
You can have a 5% win rate.
Sorry, man. Sorry, continue. I just want to tell Dwayno something.
You can have a 50% win rate and have a 1:2, 1:3 risk reward ratio. You can even have a 30% win rate and be profitable if you have a 1:4, 1:5 risk reward ratio. Like, it's all about finding what works for you, what suits you, that kind of stuff. Like Dwayne also doesn't go for crazy risk to reward ratios. We like to have high hit rates, high success rates, and taking losses are never nice.
Dwayno, I actually know who mentored you. You don't even have to mention the guy's name, but I know exactly the scammer that mentored you. I also had like a little run-in with him, and a very good friend of mine had a heavy financial run-in with the guy. But you don't even have to mention his name. I don't even think the guys would know who he is, but I know exactly who. Then let's quickly go through some other questions. Sahil asking, what's your thoughts on Darren Dick's 500k running open trade at the moment? Did you guys analyze that together?
We could see exactly why he took the trade. Like we said, we all trade the same. We use the same concepts. He has a bit of a different style. He's got a very aggressive style. That just goes back to personality. Like, you'll see Darren, he won't have a stop. But what Darren will do is he will see what's happening. He'll be less bothered about where exactly his entry is. Like, if he can see what's happening, he'll take an entry. He's willing to take that risk. But we all look at the same concepts. We all see the same things. We didn't analyze it together per se. But like when Dwayne takes a trade, when I take a trade, when Darren takes a trade, we can see exactly and understand exactly why we all took the trade. And yeah, but like I said, Darren's a little he is a more aggressive trader in general, you know, and that's why he likes his high risk, high reward type of stuff, and that's just him.
Somebody asked here in this position, I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to give it over to Chris and Dwayno as well. You're 21 years old, studying in university, but have more passion for trading than what you're studying. You've already made decent amounts of money from trading, 430,000 the past 2 years, but aren't confident enough to tell your parents about possibly quitting uni to continue trading. So Dorito, just from me, I would say finish your degree. You keep that. Nobody can ever take it away from you. Finish your studies. You're already making money. You're still in university. Just as well finish it. The reason I say that is because if you're going into the corporate world, into the corporate business, those degrees and accolades, whatever it is, just gives you a little bit of a foothold in the door. So I would say finish. You're almost there, 21 years old. You maybe have a year left. Get it out of the way and then pursue your passion.
Yeah, I think I would just add, bro, like anyone like that. I don't think quitting university is the same as quitting your job, because there's nothing you're working towards really, because the chances of you becoming a CEO of the company is very slim. But university, you're still doing it for yourself, right? And if you quit anything, you can quit everything. So finish what you started, and finish it strong, you know. Don't let it, because you don't feel the need to be there, let it affect your results at the end of the day, because you're still doing that for yourself. And it's good, you're making money, so then there's no need to quit. Your expenses are probably very low, so you can save up, you know.
I would say the same thing. Like even like I'm trying to think back when I was in varsity and I was trading and stuff. Like you actually have a shitload of time in varsity, you know, like there's so much time you waste. I remember like we would sometimes get home from varsity at like 11, 12 o'clock. We'll start playing beer pong and do silly stuff like that. You know, you're still jolling and you're still having a good time and trying to find yourself and meeting people. Like varsity is a good space to be in. It's a nice space to be in. Like a lot of people say that's some of their favorite times and years. And I think if you manage your time correctly, you wouldn't have the need to drop anything, you know. Like Dwayne says, that's something you do for yourself. And Chris even said it, you're almost done. You know, it's worth it just to finish it up. But you can always use that, you know, the things you learn, the people you meet, all sorts of stuff like that. It can only benefit you. So I don't see any use of that. I actually want to ask a question to you guys as well, Chris and Keegan. What are your guys' opinion? Because I know someone's probably going to ask this. We get asked this question a lot. How do you guys feel about people leaving their jobs to pursue trading? Because a lot of people think that will give them more time to give time to trading. What do you guys think about that?
For me personally, my thing was with working a 9 to 5. The first time I made real good money, I still mentioned to the guys, I traded Euro New Zealand dollar. I didn't know there was a New Zealand Reserve Bank rate decision that evening at 1 o'clock. And I made basically almost like 2-3 times my monthly salary. And that mentally broke me. Like the thing of like, how the hell am I working a 9 to 5? And I literally opened up a position the afternoon, closed it out the morning, 3 times my salary, and that almost gave me a mental glitch. But looking back at it, I would say that some of the most successful traders are not full-time traders. They're businessmen, they're entrepreneurs, and I've told the guys as well, you technically as a full-time trader only need 2 to 4 hours a day. I literally trade the first 2 hours of the London session. For the most part, I trade an hour in the afternoon and then I'm done. So you don't need to quit your job. And the thing is, with still having a job, still having that financial backing, because I promise you, go into full-time trading, you are going to be shitting bullets that first 2, 3, 4 months when you can't pay for shit that you've got and you think you're going to make it in trading, and all of a sudden that big chunk of money you had is starting to shrink, your cash flow is starting to dry out, and now you're like, I don't actually know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, why did I quit my job? So I wouldn't even say put that pressure on yourself unless you've got at least. So for me personally, I had quite a bit of money put away. Like, I didn't have to earn anything for a couple of years, but unless you've got a very solid financial backing in terms of cash flow where you can at least pay your bills for a year, maybe even a year and a half, because that mental thing of going from trading is just like a side hustle. You're making some additional funds to, oh shit, this is now my primary source of income. Mentally, some people crack. I cracked a little bit as well. So Keegs, over to you.
Yeah, I must say, like, I agree with that. I think it depends very on the position you're on. Like, if you're a guy that's just come into trading, like you maybe had 1 or 2 big wins, now you want to quit your job, like 100% you're an idiot. But if you've been doing this for a while, like maybe this is where your passion is or things like that, and let's just say you in a job that isn't really paying much, but it takes so much time that it's taking you away from the markets, then it's something you can think of then going full time. But again, then have that as like the goal. So work, save up, put that capital away. That's like that piggy bank you can bank into, knowing, because I think a lot of guys misunderstand that. Yes, you're going to have that trades where you're going to make money, you're going to be living the life, doing everything, but it's such a psychological game changer when you go full time. And now the fact is, I'm trading for my bread and butter. Like, this is to pay the bills. And when it doesn't, you really can go into a bit of a dark space. So I think that's where guys misunderstand, and that's where I always say, well, you need that piggy bank, that safety net to catch you and hold you out for those 3 months. Like I always say to guys, if let's just say you make 100,000, you can't go spend that 100,000 now, because that 100,000 might have to last you 3 months. So you need to be conservative in the way you are. But if this is something you want to do, it's 100%. Yeah, I do agree with it. I mean, I took the step, I went there. But again, like I said, I was kind of in the industry for almost 3 years. I only went full time, literally, I mean, I think March this year. So it was still relatively new. So I really had been putting the time in, put the effort in, did courses, did mentorships. So it's not a decision I think you should make overnight. And especially if it's not just a case of being lucky lately. I think also do your back testing, have all the information you need to back up that you can be profitable, and understanding truly what you're getting yourself into when you make that decision.
Somebody asking what's your guys' thought on prop firms?
I think prop firms are great. It's a great tool. Obviously, everyone knows what just happened to MFF. You know, nothing is ever guaranteed, and nothing you should be. It's like anything. If you can't have all your eggs in one basket, right? You have to be diversified. You have to not be dependent too much on things. But you know, I can't bash prop firms. Prop firms is like helped me a lot. You know, the thing is, you have to be super disciplined, and the rules are actually very strict. You know, it's very difficult to stay within that risk. It's very difficult to maintain and trade that account every single month and derive profits from it. You know, because of the risk parameters involved, because of the rules that they have set in there as well. You know, all of the rules are set there so that statistically most people will unfortunately fail or lose their account somewhere down the line. You know, if you got to look at the stats of people that pass a first phase, people that pass the second phase, people that get their first profit split. But the smallest percentage is the people that actually keep those accounts. You know, like I maintained an account for a couple months, but you know, there's rules and stuff in place where eventually, you know, it's very easy to breach it. You know, I think it's good. Like if you don't have, it's a good way to leverage, if I can put it that way. It's a good way to, you know, pay. Let's say, for example, a $500 to get funded with $100,000 account where you technically have 10K USD to trade. Like if you have, you know, at least one payout of $4,000 or $5,000, you know, then you can say, look at your investment was $500. You got that back, plus you got $5,000. Was it a good or a bad thing? Then you'll say, no, it was a good thing, you know. But I think you really need to be confident in your trading ability. You really need to be confident in your edge. You need to already see consistency in your trading. Jumping too early in these challenges is also an issue. You know, passing it by luck, like you might get lucky, but the chances that you're going to maintain that are also small. So it's a good tool, but you need to be confident in what you're doing. It's obviously there to, it's a business in itself, but for the people that are good at trading, for the people that do have an edge and can stay within those risk parameters, by all means, it's an amazing tool to utilize.
Dwayno, your thoughts?
Yeah, I have nothing against prop firms. I think if you don't misuse them, they really a good vehicle. And for myself as well, it teaches you a lot of discipline, and that's what we as traders sometimes lack. Is we lack that discipline to, am I going to only risk 1 to 2% a trade? Or if the trade goes against me, am I just going to continue adding positions and stacking up positions in order to kind of want to get lucky, right? And when it comes to stuff like that, yeah, 100%. But it's also important to be with the right prop firm. And there's a lot of parameters in there. Yeah, stuff like what happened with MFF, that's stuff that's out of our control. You know, we would have never seen that coming. It was one of the biggest and probably oldest prop firms that were there, you know, and look what happened to them. So for me, I always say that, and that's why we like to trade personal funds, and myself and Chris have done this over and over and over again, is don't live above your means. Use trading to fuel and build businesses on the side, get yourself established, and take the pressure off your trading, right? We don't use trading to pay bills. We have businesses that we operate on the side that pays our bills, and we use trading and we take advantage of compounded interest, the eighth wonder of the world, and that's how we build our trading accounts. I probably haven't done a withdrawal out of my trading account for 4 or 5 months already now, and we just compound that and make it build. You know, if you really need small capital, or you need to move some money around or pay this or pay that, by all means take money from your trading account, but don't be dependent to survive and pay bills with your accounts. You know, use that money, set up businesses, and that money will.
That's also goes hand in hand with why like sometimes it's actually better to stay in your job and trade, because at least you know that your job is paying your bills. It's not putting you under that pressure. That's the whole thing why Dwayne and I have taken that approach, is because we've both made those mistakes. Like I remember when I just got funded, the first month after I got funded, I actually had my account in drawdown. You know, I was like, boom, here we go. I'm gonna have a 10K USD month, and it never happened. You know, and like Chris said earlier, you shit bullets because you're like, shit, like I still need to pay for stuff. You know, so I can't have this happening 2-3 months, and then you need to still pay your expenses. And it was quite early on in my trading career. And the first thing I literally did is when I got my first withdrawal, I literally took that money and I said, cool, what can I do with this money to set something up that can pay for my bills? And that's how we started the transport company. Even to this day, you know, we love businesses. We always speak about it every single day, about different things that we could do. So we try and use trading capital to fuel that, you know. So like if we see, okay, cool, we know we're making X% on our trading accounts per month over a period of time. So not just in a single month, but let's say over the last 12 months, we've seen X amount of growth, which equates to X amount per month. And here's an opportunity or a business that could potentially give us more returns. Okay, cool. Let's diversify. Let's take some of that capital and let's set up this business, you know. And it's the same as not just trading with one prop firm. You know, maybe have your fingers in two or three different accounts with 2 or 3 different companies. Because we know people that were funded with $200,000 with just MFF. They had no other capital anywhere else, and they had to start from scratch now, you know. So anything can happen. We've seen with COVID and some crazy things happen over the last couple of years as well. So it's always, you know, best to stay diversified, not live above your means, and yeah, just be smart with your capital, be smart with your money. Just because trade.
I don't know if you know, but we launching our prop firm. It's either later this afternoon or over the weekend. First fully regulated prop firm. So I wanna as the CEO of the prop firm, wanna tell you guys I wanna give 5 accounts away to your community. We'll chat offline how you guys want to do it, but I want to give five accounts away for your community. And maybe we see somebody who's struggling, or maybe somebody that's doing well but doesn't necessarily have capital. We can chat. It's completely up to you. 5 accounts that you guys can give away within your community. I'll send you some more information, and we'll get some feedback on that. Maybe we change someone's life. And as mentioned, the first fully regulated prop firm working alongside the FSCA. And that's launching today. And then also for the guys in the chat, I'll be doing giveaways as well on stream, and as we go on the launch, check out the Discord as well. Any other questions, guys? Transport business, tell us more. Achlumile, I'll chat to Chris, but transport is in Afrikaans transport.
No, I won't say that's my favorite business. It's crazy. Eh? Like you said, like we actually always laugh about it. It's just, there's so many things. I mean, look at the diesel prices now, you know, and when I started, this diesel was like 15-16 rand a liter. Now it's almost it's like 26 rand a liter. Yeah. It's crazy, you know. Tires, clutches, all these things. It's transport, literally.
But anyway, guys, I don't know if there's any closing remarks from you guys. So All In Entertainment, guys, I'm going to pop it on the screen right here. Give them a follow. They're doing a lot of good work. So All In Entertainment, I'll have their IG links in the description as soon as this video goes live. But most of you would have seen them. Chris Bradell and Live Fully with Dwayno. Be sure to check them out. Guys, really appreciate it. Keeks, I don't know if there's any closing remarks from you for the boys.
No, just massive appreciation, guys. Thanks for coming on. Like, it's really been a pleasure having you guys here and get to chat and hear a bit more about you guys and your story.
Guys, really appreciate it. We are going to say thank you and goodbye to Chris and Bradell. To Chris Bradell and not Chris and Bradell. But guys, really appreciate it. Thanks so much. We're going to be in contact. I'll reach out to you, Chris, regarding those accounts. And then, let's bless somebody with that. Really appreciate having you guys on.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Have a blessed day. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
All right,
Cheers,
guys. For the stream, we are streaming live this afternoon, 2:30. I will most probably come online 2:15. We've got the training combine here in Port Elizabeth, so be sure to check that out. That is going to happen at 1 o'clock. Very informal. We didn't do something formal like we did with Jay. Unfortunately, a lot happening. And in terms of the markets, there we actually got the break now, so we technically should see, there she goes, a little bit of a consolidation, right idea. I don't know if some of you held it, but yeah, nonetheless, good analysis there. US30 as well as mentioned on the daily time frame. We've got confirmed support. And how deep we are going to push up, I don't know. Nasdaq still in this range. USD JPY currently almost at that weekly pivot level. Monitor that level. And then GBP USD now starting to trade above that level. Keeks, I don't know, do you have any analysis? Then you can share your screen. Is there anything you're looking at specifically?
Not right now, guys. This close to NFP, I probably won't take anything.
Did you guys take anything? Anyone still in this? One trade I would say that I missed that is clean is US30. Looking at it, Asia highs, accumulation distribution started to trade above. And most probably, I think Alex, was it Alex that mentioned it? There's a nice little entry there for you. Little break of structure, Asia highs holding, and there's a weekly S1, maybe a little bit higher. What is that? 65 points. But again, we are heading to NFP. I think Nasdaq gave a similar. No, Nasdaq was not as clean as US30 this morning. And then gold holding this weekly S1 level, daily pivot level. There she runs. But anyway, anyone still keep it holding Aussie short term long. So thanks, Geeks. Took a trade yesterday from the advice Keegan gave on stream about US30. Sent a trade on Discord. Still into you, respected the round number. Nila, well played. Yeah, I closed out, but if you held, very nice. I think should be a 1-to-1. Guys, we will see you on the stream 2:15. And thank you so much for joining. I honestly thought we're gonna have a lot more viewers, Keegs, but it seems the guys are tired. Accounts blown already.
Yeah, the guys are all just waiting for NFP now.
And then prop firm launching today. Keep an eye on the socials. We are definitely launching today, and soft launch, so I would appreciate any feedback from you guys. The official online launch, where we start with the marketing of the business, will most probably only be next week. But for you guys on the stream, for the guys in the Discord, we're going to open it up. So any feedback, if there's anything wrong, anything you don't like, anything that you guys want to give us feedback on, feel free to do so. Again, this is a fully regulated entity that's geared towards traders. As I always say, trading is hard enough. Why would a prop firm need to go out and make it even harder with weird conditions? Chris, can we still email and pop in for NFP? You can. You don't have to email. If you're letting me know now you're coming, I'll tell Caitlin that you are coming and we will put you on the list. But with that being said, guys, see you 2:15. Get those accounts ready. If you have not yet signed up, Vault Markets, link in the description. Zero spread accounts have gone live this week, and further updates to come on Vault Markets as well. Abby, thanks so much. Keegs, with that, are you ready for NFP?
I'm ready, guys. Don't you worry.
And with that, we are going to see you guys 2:15. Outro song, what are we doing? What are we doing, Keegs? What are we doing? Needs to be a vibe. Needs to
Yo.
vibe.
You know, it's so hard to think of songs that aren't copyrighted.
No, but I'll clip it out. I'll clip it.
Hey.
Give us needs to hit hard.
Yo. Hold on. Get ready for. Oh, we have to go with Fiend.
Fiend. Are we going with Fiend again?
Yes. It's NFP.
NFP, baby. See you guys this afternoon, 2:15. Link will go live in, I would say, 5 minutes time. I just want to grab a breakfast and then we